This video is brought to you by patreon.com/worsttake. Get access to exclusive live streams and Discord servers, on-screen shoutouts, and early access to some videos when you join now. Help make sure that we can continue to make content like this by supporting the Patreon. Links are in the description down below. It's time for the Hot Take Show. Hey, what's up, and welcome to Q&A, the show where I take your questions from YouTube and Twitter and answer them here in video format. A ton of questions to get into, so let's just jump into it. First question is from CJ, who says, do you expect the Browns to remain in shotgun 98% of the time? They're having more success from shotgun than under center, 11-12 personnel. Why were we identifying pass pro on that fourth quarter fumble that ended the game? If we were mirroring running pass, that gives it away. Well, I don't think they were like nakedly identifying pass pro, but I'm not going to lie. I don't know what the regular procedures are for play action in that kind of scenario in Kevin Stefanski's offense when it comes to from a line check standpoint, from a protection check standpoint. You had to talk to somebody who studies more of the offensive line and knows more of how Bill Callahan likes to do that. But you do have to still, like, you know, even if you're running the ball, you still do line checks, you still do mic calls, you still do a lot of like stuff at the line of scrimmage. I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but you're still going to be doing stuff there. You know, it's just probably going to be hidden under different terminology, or maybe it's not, you know, maybe it might be a ploy to make them think you're going to pass, so that they think it's so when you fake the run, they think it's a run, and then you go back and pass. Like, a lot of this stuff is just based on reaction time and trying to get guys to react to stuff. And sometimes it doesn't matter if you do one thing, try it, fake another, and then get back to it. Like, that's the best explanation I could have there. But, you know, I think there are more people on here, maybe a Jake Burns or a Corey Kennett, who can help you with that better than me. Lance Corporal Scott says, I remember the last time we faced the Titans, it was the turning point in 2020 when people started to take the Browns serious as a playoff team. What would we need to do Sunday to prove that we can be that team again, even though the Titans are like a bottom 5 defense? Well, they're not a bottom 5 defense. They still have some respectable pieces on there. They still got Jeffrey Simmons. They still have, you know, a really good defensive line. It's underrated, some decent linebackers. So, you know, don't completely sleep on them, but also it's about DESHAUN. It's about this team. It's about what they can do. And if you want people to feel that way, it's not going to happen in one game, right? It's going to take 2 or 3 games of Deshaun Watson playing well for people to feel like he's back. You know, maybe if we go back to 2022, 2023, when he first came back last year and he had a bad game, and if he came back that second game and killed it, I think people would have been off his case. But however it is actually been, I think that 3 of those games were all right and the other 3 were bad. However it's still been under what you would want it from Deshaun Watson. Even the games that we thought he played well enough to win, he was under what you wanted. So, you know, he has to prove that he's going to be consistently better than that. And you can't prove consistency in one game. So it's just going to take a while. It's going to take a while. He could throw for 400 yards this week. I don't think it's really going to change that many minds. It'll change some fans' minds. But nationally and within, you know, people like me who are more critical, who have to be more critical of the team, or had to take a more critical stance of like stuff that we see, then it's not going to be that convincing. Not saying it doesn't help at all, but just saying, you know, the consistent part is going to be what changes our mind. Dr. James Brady says, are you excited to watch a game? Or are you feeling like this? I'm always excited to watch every game. And I'm excited for this week's game because I want to see how real this run defense is versus a real threat. Also, I think that, you know, we should look forward to every opportunity to see what this offense is going to be, because we want it to get better, and it's not going to get better unless they play more games. So just got to lean into it and see what happens. Ryan says, as sad as the next guy about Chubb and the players for his recovery, but from a practicality perspective, does not having 24 in the backfield free a mental hurdle for Ford and Kevin Stefanski are not overthinking this angle of it? I would say yes. Look, every time a player goes down, or like a big time player on the team gets traded, there's always a contingency of people to say, well, maybe this is addition by subtraction. And it's rarely ever the case, right? Remember when people, like, the biggest example of this is when the Chiefs traded Tyreek Hill. People forget that the first couple of weeks of last season, the Chiefs looked really good to start the year. And you know what the talking point was? Hey, maybe the Chiefs did a good thing in trading Tyreek Hill because they're so much harder to cover because you don't know where the ball is going to go. Yes, these are the arguments that people make when drastic things change for a team, and maybe that team has success, maybe they don't. The Browns come out here and play well, there will be no shortage of people saying, well, maybe Nick Chubb not being in there is no, you don't ever get better by not having your best players. You're not going to be better because you don't have Nick Chubb, the same way the Chiefs are not better off without Tyreek Hill right now. So yeah, that doesn't mean you can't win. That doesn't mean you can't have success, but it does mean that you're worse off without that player. There's no way of flipping that and making it seem like we're better off. You can hope that you're prepared for something like that and that the drop off isn't going to be too bad, but being better off, no, you're not better off. Thomas says the over-under on this game is 35 with Tannehill and Watson looking bad and Henry banged up. Is that still too high? You know, it's funny. Every time, like there seems to be like one of these a week where people swear that this game's going to be like under 40 points and that the under is so great on this and that. And then the over hits and it's like actually a high scoring game. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. I think Derrick Henry has an opportunity to hit some home runs when it comes to the run game. He's going to strike out a lot, but he might have a chance to hit a couple home runs in this game. I think on the opposite end, maybe DESHAUN finds a little bit of touch out there with throwing the ball. I think they're going to try to like leave the middle of the field open and make him throw in the middle of the field. If he finds his confidence again there, they can put up a lot of points. So, it's going to be something to watch as the season goes forward. But as far as this game, over under, I never would bet the under on a 39.5 spread. That's terrible. Like 20 points per team is really easy to get. Jay says DESHAUN always started slow. Even you said it in a video before with us, and even him knowing that. Why are we not saying that? He started slow when he played before. It's been 2 years. He started slow. Why can't people just wait until he gets going? History says so. Here's why people don't want to hear that. And I think it's a valid reason. It's not because people think he's starting slow. It's because so far in the Deshaun Watson era in Cleveland, the offense has not started. Like, it's not about starting slow. We want to see the engine turn on. That's the problem. In Houston, you were willing to let those slow starts happen because you've seen the engine come on with that team before. Cleveland, we have not seen the engine be on. We're not sure that engine turns on anymore. We're worried about it. It ain't been on in a while. So, I think that people saying, oh, it's just a slow start, like, yeah, sure, whatever. But like, that's not going to fly when the guy got traded for in March and we're all the way in September of the next year and we still haven't seen the offense with him start. There's circumstances, there are reasons, there can be excuses, whatever it is. But I can't sit here and get mad at people for being upset that the guy that we were told was going to be a part of fixing the offense has not even got this offense to start yet. Like, it doesn't even look functional at this point. So, people should be frustrated. It is frustrating. And, you know, it's a slow start thing might have worked if he came out them last four of the last 6 games and absolutely cooked, had a couple of them classic Deshaun Watson games. But the fact is, there's been moments of him looking like the old guy he was in Houston, but there has not been a sustained game where he's looked like the old guy that was in Houston. And until people see that, people are going to be worried that this thing isn't going to start with him because we haven't seen it start with him. That's why people aren't giving him the slow start excuse. We just need to see it before we can start believing it. And it's been a long time since we've seen it. So why would anybody just take that benefit of the doubt there? The Press Browns fan says, how's their D-line compared to the Steelers? They're very good in the interior. Not as strong at edge, but very good in the interior. The Tennessee Titans are. All right. Mr. Camtastic on that same note says, how scared are you of this Teller versus Simmons match? Yeah, I'm worried about it. But here's what I'll say about the NFL. The NFL is a weird beast because one week Wyatt Teller can struggle with Larry Ogunjobi, and it's not out the realm of possibility that this week he does a great job versus Jeffrey Simmons. We'll have to see how it plays out, but I would be concerned, not just because Wyatt had a bad game last week, but because Wyatt's game has not looked the same in a little while, and I worry about him in general. But thank you for asking questions. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night.